This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines, matchups.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Five for Fighting podcast, episode 14. We got round one of the playoffs complete, and we're going into round two. The Habs took out the Lightning. Take it away, Billard. I know you can't wait to get into that.
Yeah, it only took 9 shots to do it, and you know, it was a nail biter, man. It was a tough game to watch as a fan. I think it was the worst in franchise history for shots on goal in a game, in a playoff game. Like I said, 9 shots, and pull off the 2-1 win against a team like Tampa. We'll say we're happy with that one. It's not when they tied it up, I wasn't sure what to expect, but they pulled it out for us. And you know, what can you say about the goaltending, man? Both sides. Dobish was unreal the whole series. Vasilevsky struggled at times. You know, he wasn't facing the shots that Dobish did, but when his team needed him, he stood up. And I think of those saves in Game 6 against Demidov that kept him in it. You know, the series could have been ended there, and he stole one in Montreal. So give credit to Vasi there. But the Habs pulled it off, man. And big flowers to Suzuki. There were 6 seconds left, laying down in the shot block against Cooch. When they won that face-off 6-on-4, I was like, oh, man, here it is. I'm going to cry. And he got in front of it for the big block. So, no, I'm happy, man. It was a good series. Watched every minute of it, and you know, all 1-goal games. I think 3 went to overtime. It was fun to watch.
Stat I had was 98.5% of the series they were tied or within a goal. So 385 plus minutes. Like, honestly, the best matchup of the entire first round. The fact it went to Game 7 was an absolute treat.
Well, that's where it goes to show for like the playoff format. You know, that should have been Eastern Conference Finals or a matchup to get to the Eastern Conference Final, right? But you're talking about Suzuki laying down the line there. I don't want to give him too much credit, but I mean, that empty net stick save there that Hags had was also quite something there.
Yeah, that was I see what Slav was trying to do there. I think most fellas would just rip it, and
yep.
All series, Tampa's good at blocking shots. They're good at getting into shooting lanes. He wanted to try to make sure it went in the net. And again, Hagel's a hell of a player. I've grown to hate him a lot this series, but hell of a player. Love to have him on your team. I'm sure there's a few teams, Montreal included, that might have wished they had a better look at him during his PTOs. But man, Kucherov was a bit quiet through the whole series. You know, he done what he does, but in Game 7, he turned the puck over a couple times, and you can see he's frustrated out there. But
0 points in all Game 7s he's played in.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of you guys shared that earlier, 0 points in all his Game 7s for the caliber of guy he is. That's a wild stat.
And another one I was impressed with coming back in tough spot there was Dobson coming back in Game 7. You know, he had a relatively quiet night offensively, never put any shots on net. He was around the puck, but 2 blocks, 4 hits, played 18 minutes, and you know, a lot more solid with the puck than Jack. I like him there for his physical prowess, but watching him cough up the puck in the corners and the puck skip over his stick on the blue line, it was nice to have Dobson back holding down the fort. So hopefully moving forward now, the boys will lock up their defensive side of the game and start to shoot the puck a bit more.
I mean, like I was going to say, you benched Gallagher to start the series. I wasn't a fan of that to begin with. I mean, the guy's been your player since day one. I mean, it must have worked for him because he came out, had a hell of a game, and then stayed in. And then we had Dak, you know, who blew the game there. I think it was game 3, game 2 there, Billy?
That was Game 2. And I wouldn't say blew it. He definitely had a soft defensive stance on the puck, but say blew the game. He got a lot of criticism there. He should have played it harder as a 6'4"
But
young
as I
man.
was saying, it came back to benefit him. He came back and had a hell of a game, right? And
Where
yeah,
bullying
so
works, man.
well, he deleted his social media or hopped off social media there for a while.
I seen that.
He's
That was all over
deleted
the place.
everything and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the criticism you get. We seen that last year with Stuart Skinner, right? I mean, he got criticized bad, and stuff like that. So I mean, it happens. Should it happen? No, but it makes the guys come out and play a lot better the next game.
Much like Halak back in the day on that infamous Habs run, Dobis just absolutely stole the show, and it really showed in Game 7, and I think it was Game 5. Montreal also won, and
Yep.
they had 40 shots on net. I think he had 38 saves. So, like, again, they were outshot, I think 40 to 25 in Game 5 and pulled out a 3-2 win. So, Tampa's a tough team, man.
They are very
They are,
tough
for
team.
sure. I will say though, they did set a new NHL record for Game 7s though. Lowest
did they?
shots ever to win a Game 7 in NHL history. Yep.
What was it last night? What was that? It took 9 goals for Colorado to win last night.
Yeah.
And then it took 9 shots for Montreal to win.
What was Marty said?
We're not
You
leaving.
you won't. No,
Oh.
yeah, I did like that, but he said you won't win every game with 9 shots, but you fucking won this one, and yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy to see. It was. I mean, last time I seen that, I was at the game, and Edmonton beat Dallas 2-1 with 10 shots on net. I do think Dobish is definitely. He keeps playing the way he's playing. He can get out of Buffalo and onto Carolina and keep playing that well. He has a very, very good shot of winning the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, well, we won't get put the cart before the horse. He's definitely a talented goaltender, but if it were just one series and the winner of this series got it, definitely. But hopefully he can ride it out. He showed a lot of poise. He's obviously a little bit nuts there. He loves engaging with the players, and him and Coots were going back and forth. One game there, he took 2 penalties. Like, he's aggressive with the puck. A couple times there, he kind of made me gasp. But he reminds me of a young Dominic Hasek. So hopefully comes through against Buffalo now.
Well, on to another series that didn't have quite the happy ending that one of our members were hoping for. But how about you take it away, Mr. Brewer? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's we can talk about it. We can beat it with a bat and shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, the better team won. Edmonton, they battled injuries. I don't want to make the excuses, but I think it was Game 2. McDavid went down, didn't look quite right. Came out later on that he had a fractured foot and ankle.
Fractured ankle, yeah.
And then same thing with Dickinson. He had the same injury. Hyman battled injury. Draisaitl still wasn't 100%. But at the end of the day, Anaheim came out. They did what they set to do. They had everything to gain, nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
So for them, they came in there with that attitude, and they killed it. I was heartbroken, but I told my wife towards the end, I said, I hope Anaheim wins. They deserved that game, and they deserve that series.
Yeah, I'm regretting not keeping Cutter Gauthier last year as my rookie pickup.
He's looking good. Seneke didn't really
He
pop
looked
off
really
at
good.
all. He
No?
might have looked good. He didn't produce it all on the score sheet, but
I
everyone else.
thought he looked decent.
Yeah, I can't say I stayed up for a lot of them.
That's
West
fair
Coast
enough.
games, but I was just looking at the score sheet. He had 1 point, but the rest of it through and through, you had depth scoring from Killorn. Their fourth line is my big concern going forward if they can sustain it. But against Edmonton, it was Paling, Veal, and someone else, and those
Veal
three
had a
were-
hell of a series.
Yeah. Oh man, he's getting paid. I think they're both free agents, and I say getting paid. He might make 1.5, but when you're going from 0.75 and doubling it, that's a massive.
Yeah.
Those guys are showing up when they needed it, and
Yep.
you need that depth scoring. You look at Anaheim, you would think it's going to just be a surge from the young guns, and they had that. but they also had that secondary, and that's really how they got through it.
Jackson Lacombe, man, is a hell of a defenseman. Like the
Yes,
fact
sir.
that, I mean, don't get me wrong. When you look at the defensemen that Team USA had, I get why he didn't play he didn't play at all, I don't think, during the Olympics.
Not one bit.
But he definitely made them regret that decision. And I mean, they won gold, but he, in the Stanley Cup, like he was on McDavid hard every play. Like he was McDavid's, it was his kryptonite to McDavid. Like it was crazy. I was impressed with his play.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because if Edmonton, this series, you had the two worst goaltenders combined. Their combined save percentage was .875. That's the worst of any two goalies combined for round one. As a collective, you would think if Edmonton, going into it, I figured Dostal would have to stand on his head to shut down the boys. Now, obviously, they dealt with injuries. A lot of their guys were limping in on one leg, literally. But I would have expected Dostal putting up a .876 save percentage. I thought Edmonton would have got through, but they just couldn't hack it. The Ducks played well, and they had 4 solid lines coming at you.
But they took away, they asked McDavid, like what happened, like what could have done. He didn't have, his big thing is his speed. He didn't have that.
Yeah.
Right. So he couldn't change the directions. He couldn't do this. I mean, you can say Draisaitl was hurt, and he was, but I mean, he's still. I looked at the stats there today. He's still second He's still in the second in the playoffs with 10 points right now. Right.
Yeah.
He's one behind Hughes.
Say what you will. At what other sport in the fucking world is
None.
the star player going to play with a fucking broken ankle? And
None.
What can you say?
You
about
have guys in the
players?
NFL that stub their toe on the turf and they're out for a fucking week.
So
right, like it's crazy. But I mean, and I watched the press conference.
He didn't want to win. You can't say he didn't give it all he had, right?
And I watched the press conferences, and for him and Leon, and they both agreed on the same thing. The team took a step back, right? It's McDavid said in his interview as well. They were an average team all year with too high expectations.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you go back to episode 1, 2, 3, 4 that we did. You even said that going into it. You said, I don't expect them to win this year.
Yeah.
You said you got 2 years left with McDavid after this, but I don't see it happening this year, right? So,
do they do anything? Do they do Bowman go? Like, do Knobloch go? Are they? Are they going to make any changes here?
I don't want to see Knobloch go. I think he's done well. I mean, he's been the coach for 3 years. He's been in the playoffs 3 years, to the Cup Finals twice. I do think Bowman is a problem, especially when your two best players come out and say, we need changes, we need this. Draisaitl said it, like, we have 2 years left of the best player in the world, and we need to see some changes. And then you have Sam Bowman going out there saying we're not going to be making any any drastic changes this offseason. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, well, get rid of him. To be honest, so if it was me in that seat, the one I'm looking at right now is Darnell Nurse. We've been preaching it forever. His cap hit is just too much. If it's me, this is his last year where he's got the full no move. I'm going to him and say, we want you out. Let us know where you want to go, and we'll send you where you want to go, because right now is when you have say over it. Otherwise, next year you're gone, and you could be going wherever the fuck we put you.
But you say that, but then you have guys like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl praising him.
What the hell are they going to say in the media? Oh, this guy's shit.
Like they got play with him. He was a fucking best man and or fucking groomsman in both their weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Like
okay.
What they got to do? Turn him down?
You got to separate the friendship sometimes.
Oh, I totally, I get that.
So,
yeah.
And I
mean, what are they going to not make him the best man? You see the size of that fucker? Like, I'm talking shit. If I was running that front office, I'd give him the bag too, or he'd beat the shit out of me. But
and I don't know. You can
in theory,
you can be friends with your coworkers. It don't mean they're good at their job. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But no, it's like I said. I don't know. I do want to see Murphy back. And I do want to see Dickinson back. They
agree with that.
They both played well. Dickinson fills that third role, really well. He has the grit, the aggression, and stuff like that. Murphy is a true defenseman. Is what we need. So I'd like to see them both stay. But after that, I mean, Pekosen had a hell of a series. He'll be getting paid when his contract comes up. I need to see changes, and I think a lot of it has to do with you need 2 more defensemen. So I say you ship out. Like I said, Nurse got to go. The cap is one thing. I mean, the cap's going up, so we'll have some space come the off season, especially with McDavid's contract and stuff like that. But Nurse got to go, and we got to find a goaltender. Like I will be very, very pissed if we start next season with the same fucking tandem we have right now.
Yeah, young Swedish goaltender, be really good to have right now. Drafted 20th overall, I think.
He's
I
playing.
don't know. He let in
pretty
9
good,
goals
too.
last night, so I don't know.
Let in 8. Let in 8. Let's be honest
Oh,
now.
let in
What was
8,
it
and
at
then
Nate?
Nate got an empty netter.
I
Nate got
bet
his
you would
empty
have wanted
netter.
him for that empty netter when you're sweating your bag off in that Habs game.
Man, it would
Yeah,
have been
so-
nice, yeah. But I didn't watch the game, admittedly. My buddy's an Avs fan, and I were talking about it, and he said Nate scored. I said, it's probably an empty netter, and he laughed and said, yeah, it was.
Getting away from the Oilers, let's move into our other podcast members' team who had a happier ending than the Oilers. Take it away, Dev.
Yeah, I mean, I called it from the get-go. My take was the Avs were going to sweep. Not a hot take, because I think a lot of people had that. I'll give it credit, to be honest. They played a good, tough series. There was that overtime game. Nick Waugh scored in game 2. That could have flipped
Leaf
it a
legend.
bit. One for Marner. Well worth it. So there was a few games that were tight that could have went another way. The Avs came out on top, and I think they kind of really proved a lot of people, a lot of folks that don't follow them think of them as a one-dimensional offensive juggernaut. But if you ever listen to Bednar, their coach, he always preaches defense. And every time he's talking in the media, whether they have a big blowout or it's a tight game, he's always looking at the defensive aspects first. So for them to be able to go in and play LA's tight checking game and beat them at their own game, I think was a perfect little tune-up series to get the team kind of come together, play the right way, and set them up. And fuck, they're going to need it, because it didn't look like they did a thing defensively last night. We're recording
was
here
rough.
now. I went to bed. It was 3-0. I came upstairs. We watched our show, and then I checked my phone. It was 4-4. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I passed out, and I woke up to 9-6.
I can't get over the fact that you just said you watched your show.
Yeah.
This is playoff hockey, and you're watching other shows.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
no,
defend
That's
that one.
low.
But like I said, I watched a bit of it, and it was like for what there. It was goal for goal.
Hang on. I want to know what show he was watching.
Your Friends and Neighbors. Yeah. With John Hamm. Have you guys seen that one?
No,
No, I have not.
It's Buddy from Mad Men, and the premise is like he's this high-profile investor guy, loses his job. But he had like the 8-figure salary, and he had everything that came with it. So he doesn't want to admit to everyone that he lost his job and he can't afford that lifestyle anymore. So instead of figuring something else out, he starts robbing all his friends and neighbors, because they've got all these high-profile watches and shit laying around. So he starts robbing them and pawning it off for like 50 grand a pop. And yeah, it's a good one. Really is.
Right on. I thought you were going to say you got roped into like Love Island or something with the missus or
Fuck
something.
no.
Which I could excuse even more, because then you could at least have an excuse. But now you just said I skipped playoff hockey to go watch my show. Ridiculous.
It was 3-0. I was like, if I continue watching
Unexcusable.
this,
Yeah.
it has one outcome, which is heartbreak. So no.
yeah,
We're
like
going
I
to
was saying, it was goal for goal. Like it was just back and forth. No, neither goaltender looked good.
No.
No.
They didn't. Like it
No.
was a bad game, and like
Yeah.
I hope it corrects, because I'm not in for I don't want to see that series go, 6-7 goals a game for each player, for each team, right? Like, and this crazy stat too, 15 goals last night, and McCarr's the only one that scored twice.
Well, and flashback a little bit, right? So this alludes a lot to the last time they won the cup. Second round, they played Edmonton, and I think it was game 1. They set the playoff record for most goals in a game, which was that 8-6 victory. And last night they topped that with 9-6 for 15 goals. So it's nothing that Colorado, they've been through that before. But the other thing too, they followed up that massive game. Colorado had a 4-0 shutout the following night. So if I looked at that series, it's every now and then you're just going to have these offensive rushes. And the thing with Colorado is they can play that. Like, hey, if you want to go toe to toe, we've got the offensive firepower, but they definitely prefer more of a tight knit shutdown game. And I expect a lot more of that going forward. But Minnesota's a hell of a hockey team. That's really,
Yeah, I was
when
gonna
I
say it's
look
hard to
at it,
shut down that first line, man. They're both
yeah.
first lines are sick, but this playoff, like fucking Boldy is unreal.
Boldy, Kirill, and Quinn are top 5 in playoff scoring right now.
Quinn's leading.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Boldy's
He's
tied
got
for
11.
first
He's got 11 points.
with 6 goals. Yeah.
Speaking of Minnesota, though, Ryan, why don't you take them away?
Well, hang on now. I was going to get into something else real quick because, even though the playoffs are going on and everything like that, and we're getting into round 2, when the center of the hockey universe does something, even if it's the front office, it becomes the biggest news story of the day. So just because we're touching on all our teams, I'm going to hop into the Leafs just because we're not in the playoffs. Leafs made a strange hire today.
That's an understatement.
Hired my boy, Matt Sundin, but they got this guy, John Chayka, who used to be the GM of the Phoenix Coyotes with a little bit of a colored past in there for things that he's done. All I can say is I hope Matt Sundin has the quickest learning curve and is the most natural front office leader that the Toronto Maple Leafs have ever seen, because this can go sideways pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking there. And then the interview by Steve Simmons with, I think, the Toronto Star, like just absolutely roasting them, and she doesn't have anything to say. It's just like, oh, I guess we talked to different people. Like I talked to 20 professionals in this field, and 19 of them said he was a fraud. He's like,
A
oh, well,
liar,
I guess
a salesperson.
yeah, I guess we just spoke to different people. It's like, man,
And we
like,
did a deep due diligence.
Yeah. What was it one of you guys shared earlier today? It was a report that he posted stats on a computer screen that were fake just to make it look
Fake
like he was doing
stats,
work
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, just had like multiple computer screens in his office and held like this open glass office that he's, this accessible GM that you can just reach, and he's an open book. And meanwhile, he's just like portraying himself as this guru, I think, that maybe he's not. He lost them a first round draft pick in 21, I think, and a second round draft pick in 2020 for the combine scandal, and was disbarred from working with the NHL. And so, yeah,
He was
great.
suspended.
I said they should go with Haley Wickenheiser, and they went the complete opposite direction of that.
I would have loved to see her. I would love to see Matt's in the GM position over being the president position. I could accept him coming in and being like, you're loved as a Leaf, give it a shot, whatever. Can't get any worse than what it is. But then you hire this controversial guy, you put Matt's in there with him, who's a heart and soul guy. I don't see them getting along. I don't know, man. This is a weird one. I don't like Pelly. Pelly's an
Shanny
idiot.
and Dubas all over again.
And
Sundin, I think Sundin's set up to fail. I don't think, he won't go down with the ship per se, but I think whatever happens, he's just a name to soften the blow.
That's all it is. I think whatever happens, Sundin is actually going to look better, whether it goes bad or good. Because if it goes good, people are going to say, well, it was Sundin behind the scenes making the plays. I'm serious. And if it goes to shit, it's going to be, well, this Chaka guy was an idiot, so Sundin can give it a go after he leaves, right? But I don't know.
As long as they keep using AI to make their trades, we're good.
Nah. The stuff he says, it drives me insane. I do not like that man at all. I wish they'd get rid of him altogether. Pelly is a complete meathead.
That's my worry for this right now. Like at this time, you've got several GM spots that are being interviewed for, Nashville being one of them, a few other teams that are on the look. I feel like Toronto just got the short end of the stick and took what they could get based on Pelly's interview. Like no one with a set of balls or brains wanted to work for that clown. Why would you?
Fair. I agree.
Why would you?
Mm-hmm.
if you know what you're doing, you've got a strong vision, and you see how you want to reshape that team, and then you look at who you're going to report to, that sounds like a fucking nightmare every day to
Yep.
wake up and just butt heads with some ignorant guy who couldn't see Montreal coming, and now they're in the second round beating Tampa. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Couldn't see
Yeah.
Montreal or Buffalo.
And they're both in the second round.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but that's Toronto's biggest problem ever since I can remember is, the MLSE just it's big money. Like I said,
That's all it is.
he probably was the cheapest.
Who knows,
So-
man? I don't know. We might all say this. This guy could come out, make the most unbelievable fucking moves, and make the Toronto Maple Leafs something crazy. Who knows? But
Well, I
On
hope he
paper
does,
right
because
now-
our clips will blow up then.
but true.
Look at these idiots.
Yeah, that tends to be our most viewed clips, is the ones that everyone calls us idiots on.
Well, no one ever said we weren't.
We didn't try to portray anything differently.
No.
But yeah, back to the playoffs, the hockey that matters.
Yeah, so getting into Minnesota versus Dallas went how I figured it would. Minnesota takes down Dallas 4-2, moves on to the second round. Minnesota's a wagon. What else can I say? I knew they were gonna be a team to play, and they showed it last night. Even though it was a 9-6 games, they still scored 9 goals against the Colorado Avalanche. They scored 6 goals against the Colorado Avalanche. So,
But like, can we just go back to like talking about Quinn Hughes for like in the middle, like we're talking about the Wild, but Quinn Hughes, like that bank shot off in the Dallas game, like
off
the shin or the foot, and when it went in, like he aimed to do that, like he knew he wasn't gonna get the shot. He aimed for that bank shot.
Yeah,
me,
I'm not entirely convinced he was playing it off the foot, but I think
No?
he's seen the foot. I think he's seen the foot and his player's stick, and he's playing for a redirect. I don't think he's seen the foot and said, it's 100% going to bank." I think he just saw confusion, some chaos, and he threw it into the chaos.
Oh well, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, it's I'm taking Minnesota because I just want Colorado out. That's just where I am. I thought LA was somehow going to pull off the miracle. They didn't.
Didn't
So
even
now I'm
sniff it.
like, now I'm hoping Minnesota can do it.
Yeah.
Nothing
'Cause
I love to hear better.
if Minnesota doesn't do it, Colorado's winning the cup.
I agree.
Sorry, Billard. I'm sorry. Montreal's a hell of a team, but they're not the Colorado Avalanche.
The first 10 minutes of the game last night, where the Avs went up, what was it, 3-0? That was some of the most disgusting hockey I've ever seen. Like, there was a play they did. Like, I hate that little power play breakout where everyone passes it back. They did a double pass back, and that thing fucked everyone. Like, it was so good. It was disgusting. Like,
They do that all the time because they've got Makar, Nietzsche, and McKinnon, who on any other team would be the ones rushing it.
Yeah.
So on any given night, it's like, who are we going to let quarterback it?
Yeah.
They can come at you in a lot of ways.
they're pretty good. That addition of Kadri was pretty good too.
Yeah. Coming back to the
then-
Minnesota-Dallas series, because we are all over the place a bit. But the one thing that threw me, Ottinger, his numbers, kind of making Pete DeBoer look like a genius, because he was a bit lackluster. And granted, like, Dallas didn't have Hintz, and Mikko Rantanen's numbers suffered a little bit from that. They had a few injuries of guys out. Heiskanen came back, but he was a bit iffy to be, so he wasn't at 100%. So they were missing a gear, but still, like, when you're in those moments, I remember a few years back when it was Calgary with Johnny Gaudreau, Matty Tkachuk, that Calgary, they went to a Game 7 series, and Ottinger was like, it was all Calgary the entire series. And
Yeah, they
Ottinger
had
was
like
the only
50
reason-
shots that game or something. It was
Yeah.
53 shots, and he
Otter
shut
was
him
the
out.
only reason they were even in it.
Mm.
And I look at the past few years, it's not the same guy. And I
No.
wonder if there's goaltending's fickle. So it's not like I want to throw him to the wolves or anything, but it is an area of concern going forward that in these big moments past few years, he's faltered a bit, because they could have really used him. He could have been a difference maker even while they're banged up.
Reminds me of a Hellebuck. Hellebuck played the same way in the playoffs. right? Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year. It was a Venza winner and then went to the playoffs and it was non-existent. So, I mean, no, Ottinger is definitely, like you said, playoffs a different beast. But like you said, the last couple seasons, the last couple playoffs, Ottinger hasn't looked good.
I can't remember where I read it, and this I'm going back. I'm reaching in the brain for this one, but I read an article. It was about Ottinger and being a big goalie, and the report is that all the scouts were going after him because he's tall. He's a big guy. He's a big body. He didn't have the background skills set that say other goalies had, but they went after him because he's a big guy. He's tall. He takes up a lot of the net type thing. And I'm wondering if down the line that plays the factor, or I don't know.
But he had a couple of seasons there, like Vezina-worthy seasons, and I think it's just like it was alluded to earlier. Goaltending is just fickle, and it's all mind games, and you get that little break in your confidence, and then it expands, and then you're done. But all year I've noticed, like, Casey DeSmith played well every game he was in, but he's not their starter, and maybe should have made a move as he struggled to get DeSmith in. But again, what are you supposed to do against a team like Minnesota where they're putting up, massive offensive rushes being carried by, we'll say, the second best defenseman in the world, according to the group chat today, seemed to be the consensus. But yeah, the way Hughes moves the puck is, it's hard to defend against that. And so when you got them entering the zone, and the goaltender's going to take a beating.
Yeah, Hughes and Kaprizov and Boldy. Like,
yeah,
fair enough. He got shelled.
Nope, they're a good team. This series right now, Avs versus Minnesota, should be the conference final.
Again, just goes to the playoff format.
Yeah.
That Bettman says everyone loves.
What else we got? Billard, you got the Mammoth?
Yeah, sure. So, Vegas took out Utah in 6 games. I admittedly didn't watch a lot of it with the time zone and all of that. I caught a bit there on the weekends, but I did notice that it was tight hockey, very physical. Logan Cooley opened up the scoring for Utah in game 1. He's solid young player. I think they got a lot of promise there. I had them picked to go to the finals with the Habs as my hot take, but so obviously that didn't happen. But come down to goaltending, I think, at the end of the day, and Vegas's veterans led with Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner leading the way. Seems like Torts came in and really revamped that team. The goaltending, with the exception of one game there in game 3, Utah only had 12 shots and won 4-2. Carter Hart had 8 saves, but outside of that, Hart played really well, made a lot of big saves, and put Vegas in a position to win. And then, like I said, Eichel 9 points. I think he's up on top of the playoff scoring, and Marner got 7 points. I think 2 goals, 5 assists. And I
2 goals
noticed
to
that
lead Vegas.
Yeah, Torts gotten playing center in PP1 and PK1, so obviously sees what he's good at, and
everyone thought that it would be that Marner would not mesh well with him, and clearly it's working.
Man, Torts just likes good hockey players, man, that work hard.
Yep.
Maybe Marner wasn't the problem.
I'm watching Ryan the whole time.
I've said it since the day he left.
We all know who he's targeting there.
Marner wasn't staying anyways. There was nothing we could have done. We're lucky we got a first rounder for him. It is what it is. Fuck's sakes.
But yeah,
you didn't get a first rounder for him.
Yes, we did.
After the fact,
we still got a first rounder for him.
Still worked out.
You can. I'll take it. I'll allow that.
Better than nothing, boys. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is better than nothing. But you'd like to be playing.
Would you have rather the 100-point player instead?
What'd you say, Zach?
Would you have rather the 100-point per year player?
He wasn't staying regardless. He was gone either way.
Everyone treated him like shit.
Who treated him like shit?
You should have been nicer to him.
Yeah.
And now he's down in Vegas living it up.
Yeah.
On his way to win a cup.
Or John
Again,
Tortorella. If John Tortorella likes you, you got to be a good fucking worker. That's like his only rule. But yeah, no,
Oh,
the
shit.
Vegas is, they're a solid veteran team who's going to be tough to take out of the playoffs. I think they'll have their hands full with Anaheim. Anaheim is a more deep team than Utah. But Utah is very physical, strong defensively, led by Sergachev and the acquisition of Uyghur. So I'd like to see them up and coming. I think I might have decided they're my Western Conference team going forward. Love their logo. Need to get a jersey, Clayton Keller jersey maybe, or maybe a Sergachev jersey just to put a real Montreal spin on things. What if I got the Montreal, like, do you ever see the dual jerseys?
Yeah.
One side be fucking Montreal, one side be Utah, and on the back just be Sergachev.
Yeah.
That'd be
Does
cool.
he even
I'd
play a
get
game, though?
roasted for that.
It's like Jason
Like,
Robertson's mom and
yeah.
Dallas and Toronto.
Yeah.
Nick Robertson
Yeah.
and Jason Robertson.
Yeah. One thing I seen about that series, so Vegas had 248 hits, which was the most
Oh, wow.
of any team in the first round.
I'm gonna fact check your stats because I have a nice little hitting stat here that has the Habs leading the playoffs with 299 hits. So I'm gonna have to do a little fact check on that.
Well,
How many did you
I'm
say?
the editor, so I'll clip your thing out anyway.
Yeah, I got the Habs leading the way with 299, and I believe it because Anderson, Jack-Eye, and Gooley all had over 30 hits in the series. But then you had
Wow.
Flyers with 297, Mammoth had 250, Wall at 243. So I don't know. Just had to call that one out because I was gonna let it slide, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, he has to make sure the Habs are on top of it all.
And I'm working on it.
We got to be accurate.
Yeah. Fact check the fuck out of me. But yeah, that series was a good one. And what about the Carolina Ottawa series?
Oh, man. Carolina.
Exciting over that way.
Carolina is just Carolina. I mean, Anderson's playing hockey like I'd never seen Anderson play hockey before.
Fucking Anderson. Why
Like,
couldn't he
he's
do that
never
in the regular season, man? The dirty. Ooh. Anyways.
like it's like to me it's like Anderson right now is holding what is it? A .961 save percentage and a .90 goals against average in 5 games, 2 shutouts. Right? I mean,
he's a good goalie. I liked Anderson when he was in Toronto. He's actually a decent hockey, or like he's a great goalie, but he just had a couple of lull years, maybe injuries, concussions. I think he had kind of thing, and then even this year I made the trade. That was the worst trade of the season, and he played shit all season long. And then as soon as the playoffs start, I'm going to be best goalie in the NHL again, right now.
But I think it was our last episode we talked about who we thought was going to be the starter for Carolina, and it was up in the air. And since game 1, Anderson has held that fort down. I didn't see any difference in how it was going to play out. To me, Carolina was always going to win. Ottawa had every opportunity to try to pull out a win and couldn't do it. They couldn't find their way on the power play. They couldn't find their way on even like I just couldn't find their way at all. It was brutal to watch. But it made me happy because Kachuk lost, and that's all I cared about.
Carolina's a good team, man. They are a
very good team.
Well-oiled machine. They're good. I hope they go deeper.
Brady Kachuk, 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 penalty minutes a game.
Well, I look back at him. I think it was right out of the gate, first shift, him and Stolfa. And I get what he's trying to do. He wants to set the tone. He's amped up. He's been waiting for it. He's also a much better offensive player. Like, to me, it was just kind of like he took the energy out of his and handed it, at least equalized it with Carolina, and then took himself out of the game. And I think that's a little bit of the maturity with him. He's a great player. He's not afraid to muck it up. But I think he needs to grow up a little bit and realize, like, you can't just be a fucking goon all the time and just go out slugging. You need to pick your spots. There's a time and a place, and if you do it right, fantastic. But just coming out right at the gate going, I'm going to amp everyone up. It's the fucking playoffs. Who do you need to amp up right now? Team's ready to go. You're good. Wait for the moment to present itself. Don't try to create it out of nothing. And I think that's where his leadership was just, he's still learning through that process. I think that's where he could have been better. And I don't know, Carolina just took it to him. They're a smothering
But-
team, and you're going to see it continue. I don't see any holes.
I mean, like I said, Carolina was always going to beat them, but I mean, Allmark played very well, and I feel so bad for the dude. Like, he put up a 9.32 and a 2.03, and his team couldn't do shit for him.
They just couldn't score. They didn't do anything offensively. And again, back to what Devin said, goons. They're all goons. Him,
Yeah.
Nick Cousins, Ridley Gregg, they're just out there fucking running around, sucker punching fellas. I thought they were a better team than what they were, and I think they're battling a few injuries with, a couple of key fellas in Shabbat and Sanderson. That plays into it, but at the end of the day, their offensive players just didn't perform.
In a sense, too, I looked at Aho. He didn't really pop off. I think he only had 3 points in that series, but I give him credit for why Ottawa couldn't score, because he is, in my opinion, Suzuki's up there. It's kind of Barkov, Aho, and Suzuki. They're your 3 front runners for the Selke every year, in my opinion. Ottawa got a front row seat to exactly what he can provide. So I give him a lot of credit for why Ottawa couldn't find their
Aho's
offense.
unreal. And
Yeah.
when you're playing against like a strong defensive-minded centerman, it's like all those years with Boston, with Bergeron. Not necessarily the craziest point getter in the league, but
Yep.
valued for more than what he puts on the board. And not to say that Bergeron haven't put his fair share of points up, but he was known for a lot more than that. And as long as everyone around you is scoring and they're getting that scoring from other places, they're going to be tough to beat. And they're probably the favorite in the East now with Tampa being gone.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I was just going to say that
100%.
with Tampa out, Carolina's the favorite.
They got the
But-
easier road, too.
Definitely. Yeah. The Buffalo Montreal series is going to be great. But speaking of Buffalo, they beat Boston. I thought Boston was going to put up a little bit more of a fight than they did, but Buffalo kind of ran over them. They could have took it away 4-1, but Pasternak, stole game 2 on them in overtime. And yeah, Buffalo's moving on after 14 years of no playoffs. They get their first playoff win in the same amount of time. So just a note, did you see the thing about Biz is no longer a Toronto Maple Leafs
Leaf.
fan because of the
Seen
hiring
that.
they did today?
He's done.
Dude,
I said he's
I've
done.
never
Finished.
seen that, but I'm not surprised. So who's he? Well, would he have been in the organization then? I guess he was when Chayka
He
was
would've-
the
he-
GM.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Well, he's basically what he said was he'd take a bullet for Shane Doan, and Chayka screwed over Shane Doan with the Coyotes apparently. So he said, "Yeah, I'm done with the Leafs. I can't cheer for the team that hires this guy." So
Interesting.
Wow.
that'll tell you
Who's-
how the quality of human being that the Toronto Maple Leafs have coming in.
Yeah.
Because I love Biz. Biz is fantastic. He's awesome. He's a great person.
The ambassador.
He is. He's got a
100%.
great personality, and he's a fun, like hockey player to watch. Not the best, but always put it in entertainment. And now
Oh,
his
100%.
entertaining career has really made the name for himself. That obviously he was an NHLer, but I feel like more people know him as the Spittin' Chicklets host than they ever knew him as the fighter with
1000%.
the Arizona Coyotes or the.
Yeah.
Did he play in Pittsburgh? I know he played AHL in their
Did training camp
system.
with them,
Yeah.
and maybe like one shift in the NHL. Barely. He had a sniff in Pittsburgh. Because he has stories on Chicklets where he's in the training room with Mario and Sid and
Yeah.
all the boys.
I've heard those in the early days. I used to listen to a lot of it, but no, I really like Biz. So again, if he's quitting on him, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. But yeah, circle back to the Sabres roller derby with Biz. Sorry, took it on a
Yeah,
side
no,
loop there.
they're the fans, just the fans, and it's the same thing at what I've never been, but to a Buffalo Bills game, like with the tailgate and the net, they're diehards and they just want to see their teams win,
Yeah.
and they haven't been getting it in the NFL, so they're really hoping to get it this year. Hopefully, there can be a few daggers thrown at them, but they're a
I
tough
think
team, man. We've seen it all year. They made those acquisitions on their blue line.
yeah.
Yep.
The Greek gods, I think, was
Yep.
what they're
Greek
as they're
gods.
coined, the Greek
Yeah.
gods. Yeah. So they're a strong team. They're fucking big bodies, and they're gonna beat the shit out of you. And they done it with Boston, who is a pretty talented team themselves. They're no slouch. 100 points on a down year for them.
Yeah,
But
they weren't supposed to do anything this year. At the
No.
beginning of the year,
Char-
they were written
and
off.
Charlie McAvoy's already getting warmed up for fucking softball season.
Golf season. Golf season and baseball.
But I did watch that series too. Swayman really stepped up his game there and helped
did.
Boston win a few games and keep him in a chance to win.
Yeah.
But Buffalo was always the better team.
Pasternak is a hell of a hockey player. He might miss a window if he sticks around with Boston for too long. If they don't get something going quick.
Yeah. What's Buffalo's goalie situation? Do they ride the Lion, or are they going to go back to
stick
UPL
with Lion.
to start?
No,
Yeah.
You got
Lion
those-
all
They're
the way.
Lion.
He took over after game 2, and his numbers were outstanding.
He was
Yeah,
he
you-
was injured
you-
going into it though, wasn't he?
He was.
He was
Yeah.
injured and came back, and UPL had that game where he fumbled it. I think Morgan Geeky scored a
Yeah.
little
Oh, yeah, that
backhand
half
fumble.
quarter.
Right.
Yeah,
He went to dump the puck and it had a bounce and went in.
yeah. And
Yeah,
there's a
UPL is an
hilarious
825.
So
cool.
that one pulled UPL, and Line came in, and ever since he looked outstanding. So I think
Yeah.
no brainer, they go back to him.
Yeah, UPL sitting at a 825 and a 4.19, and then Lion is sitting at a in 4 games started, he's sitting at a 955 and a 1.14
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
against
Now,
Big
Boston.
difference. Yeah. Drastic contrast there.
Zach, I bet you $5 Edmonton goes after UPL this offseason.
Shut the fuck up.
They can get
if
Mattenbow too.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky's not re-signed. Bobrovsky's not re-signed
You
yet.
don't want Bobrovsky to go to Edmonton.
But no,
Yeah, 43
anything's
year
better than
old
what we got.
fucking.
Anything's better than we got.
honestly,
I want Binnington.
I'd take UPL over Binnington. UPL is a great fucking goalie. He's a fantastic goalie. He's
Yeah,
he had a
825
minute.
says it is.
Yeah, but
UPL and Montembeau will share your will steer your shit perfectly.
hey, listen, if I was an Oilers fan, I'd take UPL and Montembeau over the two that they got right now in a heartbeat.
Fuck, at one point I was like, Pickard should be coming in to fucking play the playoffs.
I called that for Game 5. I was like, Pickard should come in and steal a game for the boys. Like he did it last year.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you
Yeah,
one who everyone missed on, and it's a shame they didn't start with him because they might still be playing. Pittsburgh, Artur Shilovs. That guy, as soon as they went from Skinner into Shilovs, they were lights out. And if it wasn't for
100%.
Vladar, what did he post up? Like 41 or 42 saves in that game
Yep.
6?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
if they had ran Shilovs from the beginning and not gotten Skinner, now Skinner earned it. I don't fault them. But Shilovs came in and he's been phenomenal. Vancouver balked on him. No one traded for him. I'm sure Pittsburgh probably would have put him up. And yet everyone keeps overestimating him. And he came in. I think if they had him from the get-go, Pittsburgh would be playing Carolina right now.
Yep. He's a good young goalie. He's a great young goalie. He was touted highly, and
And he
Yeah.
he had a good start to the season too, and not sure what happened, but I guess he fell off, and they started running with Skinner again. But that series was also that was a rough series. It's always the Battle of Pennsylvania is always rough, and you see like Crosby comes a little bit unhinged when he's playing Philly too, and
Oh, you
I
see
know
that look
what
on
it
his
is.
face.
that's just playoff
Yeah.
Crosby, man. He gets in that zone.
Mm.
So, do you think
So,
it's
yeah.
Crosby's last dance with the cup? Do you think he's going to get another
No.
shot at her?
He'll get
Oh,
another
really?
shot. He might be wearing a different color. He'd look good
Yeah.
with a red. He'd look good with a red
Uh,
jersey on.
I don't think he's going anywhere, to be honest with you. I think
No,
he'll
I
finish
don't think
there in
so
Pittsburgh.
either.
It's not red, it's burgundy.
I think he's
too loyal.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. He's just, respects
He's
that
loyal.
organization.
Yeah,
He'll end up, like Lemieux now and taking over as an ownership stake. And,
I wouldn't be shocked.
he saved hockey in Pittsburgh, got them the new stadium. And
You could call Crosby and Ovechkin didn't save just Pittsburgh and Washington, man. Those guys brought a whole era of hockey, an entire era.
absolutely.
They took the game from what it was to what we have now, in my opinion. So there was two of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and you look at it too, like Lemieux, when he was going out, he came back. He played a little bit with Sid in those final years,
Yep.
but then he hung him up. I think it was the first couple of seasons where they were still bottom of the league. Yeah, Lemieux came back and, he helped kind of hand the torch. And I feel like the next few years might be a little bit of that for the Pens, but sad to see. I wanted to see him go on one more run. I think
I did
everyone
too.
did. Glad they didn't get swept. Easily could have been that too.
Yep.
But yeah, they found a way. They got a couple. They made it a series, but I think we all knew like there's too many holes in that lineup. This old team, it just didn't quite have it. They managed to get through the regular season, but Philly came in hot, and their goalie just took it for him.
Philly's leading right now against Carolina, 2-1.
What's the score?
2-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
2-1.
Do Martone on the board at all?
Not a goal.
He's been playing well, man. He's what
Yeah,
a pickup they
nothing.
got him now at the end of the year. Last like 10 games of regular season, maybe not even. He's been having a wicked playoffs too. So love to
No,
see.
he's not on the board.
I'd love to see Philly take out Carolina.
Yeah,
Be
of course
huge
you would.
upset.
I bet you would.
Man, Montreal and Philly got a lot of history. I wouldn't be super thrilled to see them in the conference finals again. Last time didn't work out very good for Montreal.
The only reason I didn't pick Carolina to win 4-1 is because Devin picked them to go 4-1, and I said they'd win 4-0. But I'll honestly be shocked if Philly wins more than one game. Carolina is too good. I think they're going to roll over Philly.
I got Carolina for the sweep. Actually, I watched that game last night. Most of it, I turned it off, went to bed. But like I said, they're just so fucking deep, man. Every line, and I just don't think Philly's going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, as long as they can keep getting the goaltending, I think Carolina's going to go deep, and they got a good shot.
I like their second line too. Hall, Stankoven, and Blake.
Stankoven is a unit.
He
has
hasn't
6
scored
goals?
yet.
Yep.
Yeah, he had 6 goals
yep.
in 5 games.
Yep.
Yeah. But that second line there, behind probably Boldy, Kaprizov, and Hughes. But for just pure forward lines, I think they're the top scoring line in the playoffs right now. And that's what you need, right? You got Aho who's going to go in and take the hard matchups. He's going to go up against their line one. So if you can have that secondary wave come in and bring the offense, then he can do his thing, neutralize their top end, and have your secondary scoring led by those guys. Yeah, Stankoven's just been like he's getting all the credit. Taylor Hall, he's been having a really good series and finding his game. His elbow's looking real strong after that little knock to Jake Sanderson, but they're playing well, playing very well. So hard to beat.
All right, Avs in Minnesota, round 2. Who you got, Zach?
I am taking Mini in 6. No, I said 7. 7, I think. Yeah, Minnesota in 7. I think it's going to go the distance no matter who wins it. It's definitely going to go to 7 games. But I would like to see Boldy and Hughes and the boys. I mean, even I don't want to keep cheering him on because he won the fucking gold medal, but Billy G, man, that would just be the icing on the cake for the guy to go and win a cup this year after making the big trades that he did for Hughes and then turning around and winning a gold medal. And then, if he can finish it off with a cup, it would be the highlight he needs to finish off a hell of a season in a career.
Yeah, Dev, who do you got?
Who do you think I got? I'm not making that joke again.
Minnesota
I got
in
the
6.
But yeah, no, I got the Avs in 5, actually.
5.
Yeah.
Oh
You've
wow.
got you got Joel Eriksson-Ek. He's out for at least game 2, so I think the
Yep.
Avalanche hold home ice, and I think they'll steal one on the road. So that'd put them up 3-1, and then they'll get back to home and hopefully close out again. Again, I think last night the 9-6 was an anomaly. I think going forward it's going to be a lot of tight checking, very physical. I think it's going to be an awesome series. I just think Colorado is going to find a way to get it done. You look at their center depth compared to Minnesota. You've got Nate, Brock Nelson, Nazem Kadri, and Jack Drury. Put those 4 out against anyone, and Minnesota without their number 1 center, I think Colorado is going to exploit it.
Mm. And I think we said at one point too, that's Minnesota's biggest weakness is the center
Yeah,
up
yeah.
the
Yep.
middle. Billard, what do you got?
Yeah, I got the Avs in 6. I also put a little quotation next. Could be 7, but I think it's going to be 6. It's going to come down to Jesper Wallstedt and how he's performing. He got the ability to steal a game. He hasn't really shown it, but he has the ability. So, if he wants to step up his game, they could really make a series out of it. But I think that, again, Colorado is just such a deep team. All you can really hope for is that, Minnesota beats the shit out of them for the next team that got to face them.
I had Minnesota coming into this originally going all the way to the final, but after watching the game last night and just seeing how good the Avs are, I can't vote against the Avs. They just look too fucking good. I'm gonna give
Yeah, it's
Avs
hard.
in 6. Avs in 6.
We don't want your
Wallsted's put-
traitor ass. Stick with your wild.
Wallsted's played all 7 games
Yeah.
so far. That's I like I said, I haven't watched much of the Minnesota series with Dallas, but I'm surprised Gus hasn't played at all.
He looked good to begin the year. The back half of the year, he was, say, average, basically since he came back from the Olympics. Almost like he
Yeah.
came back with his tail between his legs. He didn't have a good Olympic Games and came back and continued it. Wallstad, young guy, had nothing to lose. He came in, stole the show, and clearly earned it. Like, the guys in that dressing room know, you can feel which goalie they prefer, and they obviously feel confident in front of him. So let him ride it.
Yeah. All right. Buffalo, Montreal, what I got pegged is probably going to be the most exciting series of the playoffs. Who do you got, Devin?
I went Buffalo in 6. Yeah, 4-2.
Take mine.
Yeah. I look at it, I see you've got like Tuck and Thompson. They're each over a point per game, plus minus of I think 7 and 8.
Yep.
Slavkovsky came out the gate, he had the hat trick, and then he had 0 points in the next 6. Demidov had one assist, Kapanen had nothing. So you've got a lot of guys who were producing all regular season who are going a little bit quiet for Montreal, whereas Buffalo, their stalwarts, their horses, they've held the ground. So I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be tight, but I definitely give the edge to Buffalo just because I think they're firing on all cylinders, whereas Montreal's young top core hasn't quite found it yet.
Billard?
I got Montreal in 5. And reason is they just got through Tampa, arguably one of the best teams in the league, one of the deepest first lines in the league. And Buffalo, as skilled as they are, ain't Tampa. They're more of a run and gun style team, more of a dump and chase style team. And I think when it comes to that style, Montreal's they're faster, they're more skilled. And I think you're going to see the Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Caulfield line get a bit of space opened up on the ice now that they don't have Anthony Cirelli and Brandon Hagel and, the likes of those guys following them around. Now, not to say that Buffalo don't have, talented players that can play defense, but Cirelli is one of the best in the league, and he done a really good job at keeping, Suzuki at bay, keeping Caulfield at bay. Every time Caulfield got the puck, it seemed like Hagel was on top of him with a quick stick and a punch in the mouth. So I think Montreal, if they can get to lines early and get a bit of firepower going. You mentioned Demidov. He had a slow start, but as the series progressed, you see that confidence, and he started to step up and make his space and take his space. Now, sometimes I find they wait to make that play when they should just fucking shoot it on net. But I think, and not to mention the depth pieces of, Anderson and Gallagher, who the boys are just playoff gamers. So I think you match skill against skill, and Montreal's going to show them up. And Dobish is he's their guy, man. It's not trying to, say the same thing over and over again, but as long as he's on, Montreal's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. And I'm pulling for him, so I hope you're right. It's going to be a tough one. Tough for them to get over.
I think this, like I said, I think this is going to be the best series of the playoffs. I think this is going to go right to 7, double overtime, game 7. Uri Slavkovsky scores the winner. Calling it right here.
The Wanderers can't handle that.
Habs in 7. To go a little bit off of what Devin said there, that the young guys weren't producing. Well, I think now they got their feet wet. They got that experience out of the way. Tampa's a heavy, tough team to beat. Like you were talking about Hagel, I think Buffalo's inexperience is going to be an advantage for Montreal, and they're both kind of, similar kind of teams. Young guys looking to get her going. I think it's going to be a great series, 7 games. Montreal OT game 7. Go for Zach.
Love it.
Buffalo in 6. I think
Real
Buffalo.
Everyone just
He took
copying me. God.
I sent mine in last night to you. And
I don't read things when you send them my way.
And no, I just think Buffalo's riding the hot hand right now. Like you said, Thompson, Tuck, they did well against Boston. Lyon is also playing very well. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Dowish is playing well, but Lyon is playing very well also. So I think it's going to be a tight series, but I got Buffalo in 6.
All right. Last but not least, Vegas versus Anaheim. I'm going to take this one right out of the gate. Anaheim in 4. Fuck Vegas.
Oh, baby.
I'm taking Anaheim in 5. I think I had them. I got Anaheim in 6 as well. The young guns are just firing on all cylinders. Jackson Lacombe is probably one of the, next to Makar and Hughes, obviously, but probably one of the best defensemen in the playoffs right now. We didn't get to see him show that kind of skill in the Olympics. He's showing it here now. Carlson has just been on fire for Anaheim. Same with Terry as well. And then you got Cutter, who's just, sniping fucking pucks left, right, and center. And I think Hart starts to fall apart a bit for Vegas. I think Marner's going to start falling into his habits in the playoffs. He had one good game. Like, he has a point per player in right now, but started to see that fall off. But no, I'm going. Plus, I want to see the team that beat Edmonton at least make it past fucking second round. So make me feel a little bit better.
All right, Dev, what do you got?
Anaheim in 7. I think it's going to be a classic matchup of defensive shutdown from Vegas matching up with high-flying offense from Anaheim. My kicker, actually, Billard mentioned it, and he was kind of giving Carter Hart props. And I agreed, like, he didn't play poorly to an extent, and there were games when he made big saves when you needed him to. But I look at game 3, he got blown out, and again in game 5, like, Vegas had it wrapped up, and he let Utah claw back in and force an OT, where if they win that one in overtime, which they have plenty of chances to do, they might be the ones moving on. And I think against an offense like Anaheim's, who could outduel Edmonton, and you look at them 3-4 lines through, their fourth line overproduced. I don't see that continuing, but 1 through 9, their forward group is awesome, and they've got a really good a bunch of offensive defensemen. I think they're going to shell them. I really think they're just going to pepper Hart. And yes, it's going to go back and forth. It's going to be a really good series, but I see Anaheim coming out on top and that being the breaking point.
Right on. All right, Billard.
Yeah, again, Devin just stealing everyone's thoughts, but I'm also thinking in 7. But I got Vegas in 7, and for my reasoning is, you know, Vegas is the veteran presence. They know what it takes to win, and when push comes to shove, and both
Marner doesn't know what
goaltenders
it takes to win.
and both goaltenders are struggling. I mean, Anaheim got all the firepower in the world there, but again, Dostal had a great season. He never had the best playoff series, but he could turn around as well. But as it stands right now, I think goaltending being pretty even going into the series, Vegas's veteran leadership, and they got two of the best two-way centers in the league there with Eichel and Marner right now playing 1C and 2C. So you get
William
them
Karlsson's
out on
back
the
tonight.
ice. Oh, is he? So Marner
So
might move to the side.
Marner's moving to the side.
Just
Okay.
shows Marner's depth and his availability. Playing center for Torts, first line PP center, first line PK, just absolute beauty out there, just helping the team win playoff games.
Play defense for Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah.
But
Just a man of
no, I
all
think, I
positions.
think
I'm not
Vegas.
going to argue. He's a great fucking hockey player, and he was great on the penalty kill when he was in Toronto too. But it fucking lights me on fire to see him succeed elsewhere. But yeah,
No,
Fuck
Vegas in
Vegas. Fuck
7, and again, their defense as well. They got some good offensive defense there with Shea Theodore and Noah Hannafin put up I think 5 or 6 points in that series. So, they're both pretty even teams, and I think it's going to come down to the veteran leadership to push them over with Mark Stone again scoring a few goals and making it count when it matters most. So I think those fellas will make the difference, and you'll see Vegas move on.
My
Right
one
on.
point to that is you brought up the stall, and yeah, he did have a tough series, but I think that whole series, it was very run and gun. It was kind of the way it transpired. But the one thing I see is in that game 6, when Anaheim had the chance to close him out, that was his best game, and he showed up when it mattered. So I'm optimistic he will have a better round 2. Whether that means they take it, we'll see. But I think he will. You'll see more of the regular Dostal in this series than we did against Edmonton in round 1.
And yeah, that wraps up the round 2 predictions. I can't fucking wait. All right, so boys, we went a little bit longer than we anticipated here tonight, but it's all good. So quickly before we go, tonight is the eve of the NHL Draft Lottery. What do you see happening? Do you see the
Leafs
Leafs
falling to
keeping
6th.
7th. Or for
I see him falling to 1st and picking 1st fucking overall, getting goddamn Gavin McKenna and turning around and winning the Stanley Cup next year. That's what's going to happen.
I see them falling out of their 1st round pick, Boston getting it. And I have this feeling that when they draw the fucking team that's going to get 1st overall pick, it's going to be Chicago fucking Blackhawks.
I think so too. I think Bedard is going to get the player that he needs to play with.
Yes.
And
Yep.
say
Could you imagine
pick
Bedard and
what
McKenna
you
on the
will
same
with
team?
that.
Oh,
I'm not
fuck.
saying that it's rigged, but I think the NHL needs Connor Bedard to have a line mate, and he's going to get one.
And the city of Vancouver will burn like it's Game 7 against Boston if they do not get the 1st round pick.
Oh yeah, every
Can you
Vancouver
imagine
fan I
if
talked
that-
to, it got it written already with Gavin McKenna as a Vancouver Canuck.
Can you imagine if fucking Vancouver falls out of the fucking top 5?
well,
Hilarious.
I guess they can't go to the 3, is it?
Losing goes 4.
4? So they
Yeah.
go to the top 3. But can you imagine, like the season you were anticipating this, you have an 18.5% chance of pulling McKenna, and then you just get dropped down to 4th?
Well, and that's where I kind of like it. And is just because you tank, you don't get the full go at them. You know what I mean?
Welcome to 5 for Fighting Fantasy League.
Yeah, well, hey, it works though, and that's one thing the NHL did get right is you can't tank to guarantee a 1st overall pick.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen this, but that's That's what the NBA is currently doing. They're looking at doing a
Yep.
massive overhaul of their draft
Yep.
positioning in the lottery because they're fed up with people tanking. So that is their number one priority going forward, is an anti-tanking system.
Yeah.
So yeah, give the NHL credit.
Everyone's adapting it.
They figured that out ages ago.
Yep. Everyone's adapting it.
Now, if only the NHL could figure out the 1v8 playoff format and that
It's never changing.
and the loser point, we'd be all right. But
I can see them getting rid of the loser point before they get rid of the playoff
I
format.
could see him going
Yeah.
with a similar style to like the PWHL, where you don't eliminate the loser point, but you make the regulation win more valuable.
that's what I
Yeah.
want. That
Yeah.
3-point system. I love it. It's beautiful.
Mm.
It's the only way it
Agreed.
works. It's the only way it makes sense. Either get rid of it altogether or adopt that 3-point system.
Yep.
Yeah, boys, I think that wraps her up. Episode 14, round 1 recap and round 2 predictions. Anything else you guys want to touch on?
That's it for me.
Ole, ole, ole.
Ole, ole, ole. All right. Yeah, you heard it here first. Habs are going to win Game 7, double overtime. Slavkovsky scores it. 5-4 win. That's your prediction. Put money on it. All right. Thanks for stopping by, folks. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Have a good one, boys.
Later.
See you, everybody.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines. Matchups, injuries, hot takes, and trades. No clickbait noise, no overplay clips. If there's an edge to find, we already checked.
Parlays, we got 'em for